Hey guys, we are just jumping on because it's been a while since we've done a video, and like it is April 6th and I'm looking up the calendar like it's got stuff on it, but that's an old calendar. And for those of you that are obviously in quarantine as well as we were like, well, we should do a video. It's been a while because we haven't done one, and I have been getting some comments like, you know, just some different things of, hey, what's happening, what's going on. So just to recap really quick, we've been going through the IVF process since January of last year. 2019 is when we started, and we have been trying to conceive since pretty much beginning of marriage, which we are going on
a little over 6 years.
Or are we going into our 6th year?
No, going into our 7.
So 2014, 2020 will be 6 years this June. So we've been trying to conceive for a while, and we've had natural pregnancies without IVF. We've had 4, and 1 was an ectopic. And then we've also had 3 embryo transfers, 3 frozen embryo transfers with 4 embryos, and had 1 successful pregnancy with that one, but it wasn't a full-term pregnancy. We miscarried at 5 or 6 weeks. I can't remember. And then after that, that was in October, huh?
Mm-hmm.
We are pretty sure that I was pregnant again right after that because the doctor had gone in and like cleaned everything up, and I still had one of my tubes because I do have 1 tube missing, and so I hadn't had a period for a long time, which usually my body's weird, but I was just having so many pregnancy symptoms, and I wasn't on any hormones, I wasn't on any medication, so we were pretty sure that I was pregnant again. And then January, end of December, we were on a cruise, and I started bleeding, and I bled. Sorry, this is a lot of information, but I literally bled for like 2 months, hon.
Yeah, December, January.
Like, didn't nonstop bleeding, and it wasn't just like little bit spotting here or there. It was like hemorrhaging and all this stuff. So, I had contacted my nurse practitioner because she's like, well, let's get you back on birth control. Because I really wanted to be hormone free because I wanted to have my body back. During that time period, I felt like I was happy because I wasn't on hormones. I felt pretty natural. Like, I just felt good. Wouldn't you say I was pretty, like...
It was different.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. What would you say?
It was less of a roller coaster.
Yeah. Like...
We were more on Pirates of the Caribbean.
Pirates of the Caribbean?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
We always talk about your hormones being roller coasters.
Yeah.
So when you're on hormones, it's like the Tower of Terror.
When
you're not on hormones, it's more like...
He doesn't like the Tower of Terror.
You're just going through, maybe there's a little dip here and there, but...
Yeah.
But we're just cruising along.
Yeah,
it's a lot
it was a lot. I don't know. I felt good. I felt like we were in a good place.
Mentally, she was in a way better place.
Yeah, like we were looking into options of doing a gestational carrier and doing all these other things. We went on a trip to Florida. We took his family, his dad and their kids to Disney World. We had so much fun. We had a great family time. Then we went on a cruise afterwards, and it was just like, I don't know, it was good. Like, we were just happy, I felt like, and things were going good, and I was working a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I really just threw myself into work, and a lot of things had happened within my business, which was really good. And I look back and I'm like, okay, you know, there was reasons for all this and the timing of everything and stuff like that. But what was concerning to us was that I just was not like slowing and bleeding at all. And so they were worried that I was losing like too much blood. And so they did blood tests and made sure that I wasn't, is it anemic?
Mm-hmm.
Like becoming anemic, like from all this, you know, because it was just like constant and like clotting and sorry guys, this is really boring, but yeah. So it was obviously not normal. So they put me back on birth control in January, like end of January. And then after my last frozen embryo transfer, Dr. Folk thought, you know what, or he had pretty much made a educated guess that I had endometriosis and adenomyosis.
It's endometriosis inside the uterus.
I always have to break it down. I'm like, adenomyosis. Because we had really good embryos, my uterus looked good, everything looked good prior up to the transfer. And then I even had a successful transfer and boom, miscarriage. So he was like, I'm pretty sure you have endometriosis and adenomyosis, and it's probably a higher stage. So your next options are gestational carrier or surgery for you, and you can try to do it as well as doing a gestational carrier. So Chris and I, after our talk with Dr. Folk, were both like, gestational carrier. We're going that route because we felt like we had taken a really hard hit after the last one, and I just didn't want to put my body through it again. I didn't want to put the hormones. I didn't want to put him through it again. And I kind of was having more of a out of sight, out of mind. And so I was actually looking for someone that we didn't know. We both were. We were like, we don't want to see them because we knew the process. We knew they would have to go through shots. We knew they would have to, just lots of things.
Well, and we didn't know how we were going to do.
Yeah.
We didn't know if we were going to be like, well, you have to eat this or you can't do that.
Yeah.
We didn't know.
And we didn't know how the gestational carrier, if we knew them, were going to be like later down the road when we had them, if we were parenting the way that we wanted to parent them, even though it was our biological child, that they might be like, why are you doing that? Da, 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 and us kind of feeling like, you know.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like this really weird awkwardness, but we did feel good about moving forward with the process and trying out the gestational carrier. And so usually it takes like 6 months to find one. And I kind of caught a little bit of like backlash from my family, like, why would you do that? Why wouldn't you use someone you know? You want to know if they're taking care of it. You want to know if they're doing this. You're doing that. You know, they were just basically like, how could you trust somebody else that you don't even know? And for me, from a psychological point, it was like, I don't want to see like a reminder on a frequent basis of something that I can't do. And it was more for like just a peace of mind of like, I'd rather pay somebody. And I know this sounds bad. I didn't want to make it a transaction, but I kind of did.
But in a way it is though. It's a business.
Yeah, like, well, I wanted, like, if it was someone that I didn't know, I really wanted to just kind of make it a transaction and be like, I appreciate what you're doing. And obviously I'd be indebted to that person, but I didn't want to have like, I would have probably been there for the transfer, been there for some doctor's appointments, and then been there for the birth. And that's about it. Like, I didn't want to be involved in their life. And as we went through the gestational carrier process, we found out so much that's included in it, which is crazy. And on top of us already spending so much money last year doing IVF.
Yeah, it's not that easy, people. It's not like finding somebody.
When people are like, oh yeah, go get a surrogate or go do that. No, okay, no.
It's not that easy.
It's not at all. Like,
there's a lot.
A lot. And Utah is one of the stricter states. Like, there's lots of states outside of Utah, but they're also one of the more, they're not as expensive to do it. And a difference between a surrogate, you guys, versus a gestational is a surrogate, you use their eggs and his sperm. But a gestational is my egg, because my egg is obviously fine,
our kid.
And his sperm. So that's the difference between a surrogate and a gestational. Because a lot of people will be like, well, why did you use a surrogate? I'm like, that's not what it is. So I just want to clarify that, because that was something new we even learned. But there's so much that's involved with it. We had to do legal. We had to go to a lawyer. We had to do psych evals, which all of this costs lots of money. And then they also wanted to do a home study for us. And they wanted to make sure that we had a safe environment. I mean, this is our biological embryo. And
it's not like we're adopting.
Yeah. like, so the process was like, are you kidding me? This is crazy. Like, this is nuts. So we got ready to do all of that. We did do the psych eval. We actually did decide to lean towards someone we know. And we had 2 people come in mind, and we had talked to both of them. And we went to the temple about it, and we felt very strongly about the one that was going to do that. And if you knew this person, like both of them, both people that we had in mind are very giving and very loving people, and both have children of their own, and they're very close to us. And so it was the one that came to us when we went to the temple. I was really nervous to ask. And I just remember going to lunch, and
She was nervous.
Yeah, I was nervous to
I
ask.
wasn't.
And he had gone with her husband because she had forgotten her phone somewhere. And so we were just sitting at lunch, and we were waiting for them to come back. And we just like, I said, hey, remember when you were joking with me about this? And she goes, yeah. And I said, so do you really want to do it? And she was like, yeah, of course. Like, I mean, it was like